The GOAT debate just turned explosive. For years, everyone's felt that cold, unspoken tension between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, the sly jabs, the tight smiles, the sideline shade. But now, the truth is breaking wide open, and it finally exposes why not just MJ, but almost every all-time legend, from Magic to Pippen, has serious beef with King James.
That probably just doesn't annoy Michael Jordan. That probably annoyed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It probably annoyed Magic Johnson.
And it's not just the old school icons. Current players can't stand how LeBron built his own super teams, only to turn around and complain when things fall apart. Fans lose it whenever he dodges criticism like he's above the game. Even the media's caught in the crossfire. Ask the reporters he's iced out after daring to question him. From the decision to the infamous dunk tape scandal to his latest wild feud, LeBron's ego seems to spark chaos wherever he goes. The real question is, does he even care, or does he secretly love being the villain? Because let's be honest, LeBron James isn't just chasing greatness, he wants to own it. The stats don't lie, the rings don't lie, his body's still holding up like a machine. But deep down, LeBron doesn't just want to be in the GOAT talk, he wants to end it once and for all by crowning himself the one true king. Here's the wild part, LeBron actually said it out loud, and that single quote set the entire basketball world on fire.
I was ecstatic, like obviously I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying, like that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
That's what lit up legends like Michael Jordan and even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's not about disrespecting his skills, they know he's incredible. What drives them crazy is that LeBron gave himself the throne before anyone else did. But what happened when Michael Jordan heard LeBron say he's the greatest player of all time? Oh, you're not ready for this one.
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was...
When that clip dropped, MJ's face said everything. That smirk, that laugh, that tiny head shake, he didn't even need words to roast him. One look from Jordan turned into 1,000 memes overnight. That reaction alone told fans exactly where he stands.
It's about chasing the validation. LeBron said, in 2016, winning the NBA championship, coming back from 3-1. That's the thing I felt like made me the greatest of all time. That probably just doesn't annoy Michael Jordan. That probably annoyed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It probably annoyed Magic Johnson.
Even NBA insiders couldn't help but weigh in. Reporter Vincent Goodwill couldn't believe the reaction it sparked, and Danny Ainge, former GM of the Boston Celtics, went on radio and didn't hold back one bit.
His career's not over. I'd just like to, why he's saying that, I don't know. Maybe he thinks that sells. Maybe he's taking the Donald Trump approach and trying to sell himself. I don't know.
And believe it or not, even Scottie Pippen, who's had his own messy history with Jordan, called out LeBron for crossing the line. When the legends unite on something like this, it's bigger than just basketball.
My problem is more so with LeBron. If you are the greatest player, if people are saying you are the greatest player, or if people are saying Michael Jordan is the greatest player, why do you need to say it?
Just when you thought this GOAT debate couldn't get any crazier, Scottie Pippen came through and dropped a bomb. What he said didn't just throw shade, it peeled back the curtain on who Michael Jordan really was behind that calm, cool image.
Michael Jordan has never, ever said he's the greatest player to ever play the game. Why? He's respected all the other players before him. So for LeBron to say that, he's sort of pulling himself out of it.
But before we get into that, let's rewind to the man himself, the 6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. When a reporter asked him straight up if he thought he was the greatest to ever touch a basketball, MJ didn't flex, didn't brag, didn't need to. His answer, pure class. No crown talk, no ego trip. Just that smooth, humble deflection that only Jordan could pull off. That's what made people love him even more.
I don't want it in a sense because I think it disrespects Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, all the guys that prior to me, I never had a chance to play against. What everybody's saying I never had the chance to compete against other legends that was prior to me.
While the debate was still sizzling, Jalen Rose, the ex-NBA player turned razor-sharp analyst, slid in with a take that had everyone listening. His breakdown was cold, clean, and fair, the kind of precision that cut right through all the noise. Jalen didn't just talk rings and records, he compared the eras, the playing styles, and the journeys that shaped both MJ and LeBron. Then, he said something that hit hard. something that explained why so many old school legends were fuming at LeBron.
LeBron officially passed Larry Bird and got into the top 5 when he won his final championship, his only championship in Cleveland. In my mind, he still has a way to go clearly to pass Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, 11 championships, 13 years, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
the captain.
And my heart just won't let him pass Magic just yet.
Let's keep it real. LeBron's career numbers are insane. 4 championships across 3 different teams, 4 MVP trophies, and the all-time scoring record. The first player to ever crack 40,000 points. That's legendary. But here's the twist. When LeBron first called himself the GOAT, he only had 1 ring. 1. Meanwhile, Jordan had 6. Kobe had 5. Magic had 5. These weren't just greats. They were dynasty builders. So when LeBron jumped out early, calling himself the greatest ever, a lot of those veterans didn't see confidence. They saw disrespect. Like, how can you crown yourself before the crown is earned? Greatness isn't just about what you've done. It's when and how you do it. Timing matters. And let's not forget the nickname that still ruffles feathers, King James. Here's the kicker. LeBron gave himself that name back in high school. Before he even touched an NBA court, most legends get nicknames after they've proved themselves. Air Jordan? That came from Nike, after MJ was flying through the league. But LeBron? He called himself a king before he'd won a thing. That's why to this day, some of the old school players still roll their eyes whenever they hear it. Sure, he lived up to the hype. He earned his spot in history. But that early self-crowning still rubs people the wrong way. And if you're wondering whether Jordan himself actually hates LeBron, well, LeBron might have just given us the answer on the Pat McAfee show. On air, LeBron was respectful, called MJ the blueprint, the icon, the ultimate standard. But between those respectful words, there was a little hint, a flicker of truth hiding under the compliments, a quiet nod to the fact that things between them are still icy.
We all know MJ. Even if you don't know him personally, he's one of the most ruthless competitors there is. And till I'm done, and he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23, and every time my name is mentioned with his, he's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
Even though LeBron never flat out said there was bad blood between him and Jordan, everyone can feel it. The energy between them is ice cold. It's no secret. Jordan has never shown any real interest in forming any kind of friendship with LeBron, and the reason might go deeper than ego or competition. LeBron once said it himself, "My motivation is this ghost I'm chasing." The ghost played in Chicago. That single line told the world everything. LeBron's entire career has been about chasing Michael Jordan's shadow, but here's the harsh truth. Catching MJ's 6 rings is just half the fight. The real challenge? Surpassing Jordan's legendary aura. His cultural influence is untouchable, a level of global fame that's almost mythic. No matter how many points LeBron scores or trophies he lifts, that kind of magic can't be recreated. See, MJ didn't just dominate the court, he defined an era. He rose to the top at the perfect time. The NBA was exploding worldwide in the 90s, and Jordan became the global face of basketball. His sneakers, his swagger, even his silence made him larger than life. LeBron, on the other hand, came up in a completely different world. Social media, constant exposure, endless cameras, and nonstop criticism. And yeah, a whole lot of haters. LeBron might be one of the most respected athletes alive, but he's also the most hated player in the NBA. Crazy, right? From the start, people took issue with how openly he hyped himself up. His confidence came off as arrogance to some, especially to old school players who believed you let your game do the talking. Even former teammate Carlos Boozer once pointed out that LeBron's self-promotion rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, though.
And he's not the only one who felt that. That Chosen One tattoo became the perfect symbol of everything people love and hate about him. Here's the story. Back in 2002, Sports Illustrated put a 17-year-old LeBron on the cover with the headline, "The Chosen One." That's a lot of pressure for a teenager. But instead of brushing it off, LeBron doubled down and got Chosen One inked across his upper back, permanently. Fans saw it as pure arrogance. They thought he was buying into his own legend before even proving himself in the league. Instead of staying humble, it looked like he'd already declared himself basketball savior. Fast forward to 2021, and the numbers spoke for themselves. LeBron had officially become the most hated NBA player in the United States. Twitter heat maps showed it clear as day. A betting site even analyzed negative tweets in 2022. And guess who topped the chart? LeBron by a landslide. Over 100,000 negative tweets in just 1 month. That's more than double Kevin Durant's numbers, with KD sitting around 35,000 and way ahead of James Harden and Kyrie Irving. The hate was unreal, but this reputation didn't start overnight. Way before the scandals, the arguments, or even the championships, people already had mixed feelings about him. Back in 2008, when LeBron was just 23 and still chasing his first ring, some of his own peers were already throwing shade. After beating LeBron's Cavaliers, Wizards guard Deshaun Stevenson didn't hold back and said, "He's overrated." And you can say, "I said that." That line spread like wildfire. But the real turning point, the moment that changed how millions saw LeBron, came in 2010. That night is burned into NBA history.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
13 million people were watching live when LeBron sat down on ESPN for the decision. The suspense was crazy. Fans were glued to their screens waiting to see where their hometown hero would go. And then, with one sentence, he shattered Cleveland's heart. He said he was taking his talents to South Beach. That single line flipped the script forever. Overnight, the kid from Akron went from beloved savior to public enemy number one. The man who was supposed to bring a title home to Ohio was now branded disloyal. And just like that, the NBA's biggest superstar became its biggest villain. Not just with a quick announcement. LeBron made history that night with a full-blown 1-hour TV special ending in the now infamous line, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach." The crowd went silent, and then chaos exploded. Fans were furious. Cleveland felt betrayed on a whole different level. Jerseys burned in the streets, emotions ran wild, and the Cavs owner fired off a fiery open letter calling LeBron's move a cowardly betrayal. Even casual viewers couldn't believe it. They thought the entire TV stunt made LeBron look like he was putting himself above the game before he'd even earned a championship ring. The backlash was immediate. Forbes even ranked him among the most disliked athletes in the world. And just when things couldn't get worse, they did. Because what came next was the Miami celebration. You remember it? The stage lights, the smoke machines, the crowd going wild while LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh strutted in front of fans, acting like they were already champions. Then LeBron hit the mic and dropped the line that haunted him for years. Not one, not two, not three. The confidence was sky high, but to a lot of people, it came off as pure arrogance.
But we also know you three kings came down here to win championships. Not one, championships.
Not two.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven.
3 of the league's best teaming up before playing a single game. That didn't sit right with old school legends. Even Michael Jordan weighed in, throwing subtle shade. When asked if he would have teamed up with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson back in the day, MJ laughed and said, "There's no way. I would have never called up Larry or Magic and said, 'Hey, let's join forces.'" To him, teaming up like that felt like taking the easy road. But here's the twist. The move worked. Miami dominated. They grabbed 2 titles in 4 years, and LeBron got his long-awaited rings. Still, that 1-hour TV event became a permanent stain on his legacy. That was the night he went from the league's golden boy to the guy people love to hate. Even after he redeemed himself by bringing a championship back to Cleveland and later winning with the Lakers, that 2010 moment never fully faded. Because in sports, how you do things matters just as much as what you achieve. And for millions, the decision will always feel like the night LeBron made himself bigger than basketball itself. But hold up, so we're not done yet. Because there's another story that LeBron haters never let go of. One that still gets brought up in every "LeBron's too soft" argument. Guess what it is? The Jordan Crawford dunk incident. It was 2009, a pickup game at LeBron's own Skills Academy. Crawford, a little-known college player from Xavier, got the ball and posterized LeBron with a vicious dunk. The gym exploded. The crowd couldn't believe what they just saw. A young kid dunking on King James in front of everyone. But that's when things got messy. Moments later, reports say Nike reps stormed in and started collecting every camera and tape in sight. They said filming during after-hours runs wasn't allowed. But conveniently, this rule only seemed to matter after that dunk. Ryan Miller, a freelance cameraman who was filming that day, later revealed something wild. He claimed LeBron actually called over Lynn Merritt, Nike's senior rep, right after the dunk. Minutes later, Miller's footage was taken. Whether it was Nike's call or LeBron's request, the message was clear. That dunk wasn't supposed to see daylight. Critics went off. They said it was weak, an attempt to protect LeBron's perfect image and control every narrative about him. Eventually, the footage leaked, and honestly, it wasn't even that bad. But by then, the damage was done. To LeBron's haters, that moment became the ultimate proof that he couldn't handle looking human, that he always had to be in control, even in a harmless summer game. And the sad part, if LeBron had just laughed it off, maybe given Crawford a shout out, it would have blown over in a day. But because of how it was handled, that one little dunk turned into one of the biggest gotcha moments of his career. To this day, people still bring it up as a symbol of his obsession with image, the king who can't stand a dent in his crown. Now let's get into the clash that shook NBA talk shows for weeks. LeBron versus Charles Barkley. Back in the summer of 2018, LeBron was standing at a major crossroads with Cleveland. He'd just come off another painful finals loss, and frustration was written all over his face. Publicly, he called out the Cavs management, saying the roster was too top-heavy and lacked solid defense. Basically, he wanted big changes fast. That's when Charles Barkley, never one to bite his tongue, fired off a scorching critique that left fans speechless.
Whiny, all the above. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they have given him everything he wanted. They have the highest payroll in NBA history. He wanted J.R. Smith last summer. They paid him. He wanted Shumpert last summer. They bought in Kyle Korver. He's the best player in the world. Does he want all the good players? He don't want to compete?
He called out LeBron for constantly complaining and trying to play GM instead of just being a player. Then Barkley doubled down, saying something so blunt it lit up every sports headline across America.
LeBron's a great player and a great guy, but this notion that he's got to have all the best players on his team. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He want everybody. He don't want to compete. He want to be the favorite all the time. It just pisses me off that a guy that great don't want to compete.
LeBron wasn't having any of it. He clapped back hard, calling Barkley a hater and snapping, "I'm not going to let him disrespect my legacy like that." Then LeBron hit below the belt with a list of personal jabs. "I'm not the one who threw somebody through a window. I never spit on a kid. I never had unpaid debts in Vegas. I never said I'm not a role model. I never skipped All-Star Weekend because I was partying in Vegas." He finished with a mic drop line. "All I've ever done is represent the NBA the right way. 14 years, never got in trouble, respected the game. Print that." The internet exploded. Barkley didn't respond right away, but the tension between those two still simmers to this day. Their feud turned into one of the most memorable player versus analyst battles in modern NBA history. Two loud, proud legends who refused to back down. But that wasn't the only high-profile beef LeBron was cooking. Around the same time, the Paul Pierce rivalry was reignited, and this one had history. Word is, it all started way back during a heated exhibition game between LeBron's Cavs and Pierce's Celtics. Things got ugly fast. According to reports, Pierce spat toward Cleveland's bench. Some say directly in LeBron's direction. Kendrick Perkins, who was right there on the court, later confirmed it wasn't just random trash talk. There was personal tension brewing between the two stars for years. When reporters pressed Pierce about it later, he didn't exactly deny it. Instead, he laughed and admitted, "You know, the crazy thing is, it was a preseason game that didn't even mean anything. Me and LeBron were going back and forth, benches were yelling, and I looked over and said, 'That's why y'all are on the bench.' Then I spit, not sure if I hit anyone, but yeah, I spit in that direction. Next thing you know, we're in the hallway and it's about to go down." Wild, right? That's the kind of fiery energy that fueled their rivalry for years. And when Pierce later went on TV throwing shade at LeBron's legacy, no one was surprised. That bad blood runs deep. But that's just one layer of LeBron's never-ending list of controversies, because now the Kings facing a fresh storm, and this time it's not about basketball stats or super teams. Nope, this one's personal. Enter the Stephen A. Smith feud. LeBron's always had a complicated relationship with the outspoken ESPN host. For years, the tension between them simmered quietly. Little digs here, subtle sarcasm there. But now it's full-on war. Things blew up after the Knicks-Lakers showdown on March 6th. When a viral courtside clip hit social media showing LeBron unloading on Stephen A. Smith mid-game. You could practically feel the heat through the screen. LeBron's body language said it all. The clip spread like wildfire, and everyone online was asking the same question: what did Stephen A. say that made LeBron snap like that? Theories flew everywhere. Some said it had to do with Stephen A's comments about LeBron's son, Bronny. Others believed it was the buildup of years of criticism finally boiling over, but no one knew for sure until Stephen A finally broke his silence on his own show.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son.
When the cameras rolled, Smith looked uneasy, half smirking, half hesitant. He admitted that LeBron confronted him directly and had a lot to say, but he refused to repeat the exact words. He hinted it was personal and deeper than basketball.
Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing.
That silence only fueled the fire. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Was LeBron defending his family? Was it about respect? Or did Smith finally cross a line? Whatever the truth is, one thing's clear, this feud isn't over. LeBron and Stephen A might smile for the cameras, but behind the scenes, it's pure tension. The King's never been one to shy away from confrontation. And this time, it looks like he's ready to remind everyone that even critics better watch their words. Everyone who watched that viral clip knew exactly what LeBron was saying. His message was crystal clear. Keep my son out of this. You could see the fire in his eyes. Stephen A. Smith, caught completely off guard, looked visibly shaken afterward. When the camera stopped rolling, Smith didn't hide his frustration. He later admitted he was deeply disappointed by the whole exchange, especially since fans online were already spinning wild theories about what LeBron had said courtside.
For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called. Because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call.
The situation blew up so fast that Stephen A had to jump on his own channel to clear the air.
He approached me during the game and he said, "Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son."
For those who missed it, the whole feud started because Stephen A had been criticizing Bronny James, LeBron's eldest son, now a rookie with the Los Angeles Lakers. For months, Smith had been making bold comments about Bronny's performance and whether he actually deserved his spot in the NBA. That didn't sit well with a father as protective and proud.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
As LeBron, here's what Smith originally said that set LeBron off. He started off praising the father-son storyline, saying, opening night, father and son playing together, an absolutely wonderful story. But then he dropped the hammer, and then reality sets in. Smith continued, we love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where he belongs right now, honing his skills, getting better, and earning a real spot in the Lakers rotation. That's when things turned from commentary to controversy. Smith didn't stop there. He broke down Bronny's numbers from his one season at USC, 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, 25 games, and only 6 starts. He said those stats were pedestrian and claimed they didn't show the kind of talent expected from an NBA prospect. He argued that Bronny's fame came more from his last name than his on-court production, and that without LeBron, he wouldn't have even made it to the league. Ouch! For LeBron, that was a low blow, not just to his son's career, but to his family's integrity. He's always stood by Bronny, saying his boy earned every opportunity through hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. So when Smith implied Bronny was only there because of who his dad is, LeBron snapped. When asked about the whole mess later on the Pat McAfee show, LeBron finally broke his silence. At first, he tried to sound calm and collected, saying people were twisting the story.
He completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize.
But then he dropped a line that made headlines everywhere. LeBron said, Stephen A. Smith's probably happy as hell I'm even talking about him right now. Man's gonna be smiling ear to ear.
But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
Boom. That one line reignited the feud instantly. Stephen A. heard it and he lost it. On his next show, he went ballistic. He called LeBron a liar right on air, saying LeBron James is full of it.
My issue is with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. And he went on national television today and he lied again.
Smith insisted his criticism was always about basketball, never personal. But then he fired back even harder, accusing LeBron of playing innocent and hinting that the king himself had done plenty of shady things behind the scenes.
Because he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James.
It was a full-on verbal war, and fans couldn't look away. Some sided with LeBron, saying a father has every right to defend his kid, especially in a league as ruthless as the NBA. Others backed Stephen A., arguing that sports analysts have the right to call out players, no matter who their parents are. Either way, this feud just exposed how fragile the line is between professional critique and personal attack. And with two of the biggest names in basketball and sports media throwing punches, figuratively, for now, one thing's for sure. This drama is far from over. Stephen A. Smith tried once again to cool things down and explain himself. But by then, the internet had already turned the whole situation into a full-blown circus. He went on air trying to clarify his side, insisting he meant no disrespect to LeBron or Bronny. But what he said next, it instantly became a meme.
The cameras were rolling, and had I done something, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to act, you want this to be a reincarnation of Chris Rock and Will Smith? And let me state for the record that while we bring up that, let me assure you it wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have gotten my ass kicked, because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him.
He said it with full conviction, but fans couldn't help laughing. Still, when you look past the jokes, you could actually see where he was coming from. The man's been around the league for decades, and at 57 years old, standing 1.85 meters tall next to LeBron's towering 2.06, Smith was trying to remind everyone that his criticism came from passion, not hate. This feud may have started over words, but it's ending in headlines. The basketball world can't stop talking about it, so tell me, whose side are you on in this wild drama? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more crazy NBA stories. See you in the next one.